And we're back. Good evening. Back for another one, Underground World News Live. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you, Crown Jewels, Deanne, all the mods. Get a mic check right at the gate. Make sure everything's sounding good. Think you're there, Gunther, Deanne, Kathy. See MC Dirty in the house. The Judge with us. Mayhem, Quantum, Hoodie Ross, Gabe, Ray. Good to see everybody. Wayne the Pain, thank you for the feedback. All right, good to see all the 5x5s. The audio is good. All right. Got a lot going on. We got some breaking news. I don't have a whole lot on it besides what I'm about to tell you here. I should probably just share the footage that I've got on it as well. So I'm going to pull that up here, put it on the screen real quick and zoom in on it. We have got in Oceanside, California, multiple emergency crews on the scene of a military helicopter bursting into flames during an emergency landing incident. See here, I'm going to play the clip. Turn down their music. Not good. Not good to see a chopper like that. Hopefully everybody made it off the thing okay. I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. I don't see anyone down there next to it. No rescue crews yet. This is people pulled over on the side of the road watching. Very near the highway there, as you can see. So, not sure what caused this. There we finally got at least police on the scene, but don't know the cause as of right now. But that is a breaking event happening in California. If we get an update on that, I'll keep you guys posted as well. If you guys got anything to get to me, email me, dabu7@yahoo.com, at me at the chat, just as Silver Sailor did, right there at dabu77. And I'll try to get to whatever you're saying or question or whatever it is the best I can. And follow me on X for breaking news. That's where I'm dropping stuff. If I'm not dropping a video on something over on YouTube, if it's something breaking or an update, anything like that, Twitter or X is the place to follow me. If you want those updates and to stay in the loop with what's going on throughout the day, best place to get it. All right, I'm going to start off here in an area that I feel is going to change as Trump gets in here, as long as he gets in there. We may get to that window. The climate change thing. It's been pushed left and right. You guys know it. And they've been talking about carbon taxes and giving you a carbon score to keep track of you and all these other things. Very similar to what they're doing in China. But now Denmark passes the world's first burp tax. And as it says and implies here, it's no laughing matter. This is a livestock tax, basically. And the air that's coming out of your livestock is what they're trying to tax. So it gets really ridiculous. But they're going after these emissions. Now, it's all big scam and fraud. Now, when you look at the bottom of all this, we breathe in what the trees breathe out, right? They breathe in what we breathe out. It's a hand-in-hand type of thing. The trees cleaning up a majority of it. So you would think that there would be some kind of effort to make sure that that was in place, but they don't. You see them wiping out places like the Amazon left and right. It just shows they don't care about this place. They just want to control everything. And most of the time, that's what it's all about, is control. So, for people in Denmark that let this pass, they're going to be paying big time. But this is targeting farmers. And they're going to be doing this more and more. Not just in Europe, but here in America. As I said before, if another outbreak happens, bird flu or anything like that, we already know they're doing it now. They're targeting the farmers. So that targets potentially the entire food supply. And people just oblivious to it. They're just like, those that are preparing though, and see the writing on the wall. They're all anyone can do is prepare to the best of their ability. This isn't good though. But stuff like this is not going to be rammed down your throat under a Trump administration compared to like Biden. Like Biden, they'll just sign it in law if they had a choice. They'll do whatever. You've seen they reversed everything Trump did before. So it's kind of like, whatever good things that get put in motion, they need to be put in concrete where the next whoever can't just undo it. But I wanted to throw that out there because it's a world's first. And wherever they start this somewhere, they continue to push it other places and it spreads. And I think it's ridiculous. Keep it pushing. Let's jump into the markets here real quick. As you can see right here, the S&P tumbles. It's set for the biggest weekly drop since September, ahead of a massive 6.5 trillion OPEX. And this also comes after Powell just made the announcement on rate cuts. And some would say, well, if he just cut back on rates, saving people, money ultimately, then why is everything tanking? Well, it's a good question. In the end, after people out there taking profits, which is a large part of it, and this is tied into 401ks. So people are feeling all this, and they're trying to already call this the Trump dump and blame it on him. But what happens is when you have a rate cut and you got people that are locked into certain things or investing in certain things, when you have a rate cut, it opens the door to invest in other things that they were not investing in before because the rate was too high. So they're just sliding money around into different places, and it causes some things to pull back naturally. So yeah, we saw the other day, Vet was tweeting out, man, it went from like 500 to 650, and it was like 800. Next thing you knew, it was 1,000 points. It fell in a day, just dropped out. Again, when people's 401ks are connected to all this stuff, that's your money, that's your savings, that's your future, just getting ransacked, getting hit. That's why I've warned about it all this time. At some point here, especially when this whole thing comes down big time, yeah, you're not going to want to have all your money tied up in there. If you ask me. All right, so pushing here. We've got a look here at a San Francisco mall. I just want you guys to see what's happened. There's no one shopping at this mall. There's nothing going on. It's a ghost town. They've got it lit up all nice and pretty, but there's only 3 stores that have survived this onslaught of what they've hit us with. They've wiped everything out. Here's a clip. Play it so you guys can have a peek. It's crazy. Absolutely nobody in the store. This is happening more and more places throughout the country. But the West Coast, man, they've devastated it. 3 stores, all that's left, and nobody in here. I'm surprised they took the time to decorate the whole place, to be honest. Haven't seen a person yet. Man, it's just crazy, man. When I grew up, the mall was a spot, right? Like, it was always packed. Matter of fact, when I was younger, I wouldn't want to go in there half the time because it was so packed. But that's what a lot of people, a lot of kids would go to the mall for. They'd hang out, shop the stores, this and that. But it's not just this. This is all over the place. Mini stores, empty. And if people are living under a rock and you don't go out to any of these cities, I don't know what to tell you. You think it's fake. It's ridiculous. It's 100% real. You need to get out of your little whatever you're hiding in here and see the real world and what's happening. They've destroyed it. And I report on it every week, all the time, left and right. And we've got a lot more to add to this if you've missed it. Here's one. A huge name in terms of retail stores and carrying items that everyday people need out there. Big Lots announcing it's going to start going out of business. All stores. I repeat, all stores going down. All of them. So they will cease to exist. Just like all these other staples and big names that are not out there. If you haven't been to a bigger city, some of these places, some areas, it doesn't even matter. I mean, we've been seeing them take out all types of places. Around here, I think one of the most recent was they had a call for Frisch's. They're just taking them out left and right to where all the Frisch's were going to be gone. And you go back to an area that you knew growing up or you once lived in or something like that, and it's completely changed. These places don't exist no more. And you wonder how are things, going through and through? Like, how are people even getting by? When these places go, jobs go, and the business itself, it leaves, and you don't have a place to buy certain things. You can't get them no more. It was really bad during lockdowns and all that, and the handling of it all through the Biden regime, inflation, everything going through the roof. Hopefully we'll shift out of that, but it's just not looking good. It's looking like they're looking to hand off a ticking time bomb here to Trump. Let's keep going. McDonald's, their French fry supplier, warns that demand is sputtering. It sends shares crashing. So anybody that was invested into McDonald's here in the stock market, that just tanked. Okay, so not too shocking. I mean, McDonald's we've warned about for years. The stuff you should not be eating. When you could take a burger and fries and leave it sit out for like a decade and it really not change much, there's something wrong. Plus, I just have never really felt comfortable with what they're serving the people. A lot of these fast food chains, it just, my gut and something tells me that, like, that's not what you think it is. Merry Christmas, Monica. And Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. Real J in the house. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Yeah, this is the last Friday before Christmas, and everyone's hitting the road. So, yeah, hope everyone's just staying warm, traveling safe. On to the next one. You may have ordered something for Christmas and hoping to have it for friends and family for the holidays, but just not going to happen for some people because if you went through Amazon, well, they decided to go on strike and hold Christmas hostage. Yeah, what timing, huh? So they put everybody, they pulled everybody into this. Instead of just waiting till right after the holiday season, but they figured from their point of view, they're going to do it now because it's going to catch the attention of everyone. And then maybe they'll just go ahead and they'll meet their demands, give them the raises that they're all looking for. Ultimately, it's all it's ever about is more money here, or services like health benefits and things like that. But they say that the workers will join the picket line from New York City to Atlanta, Southern California, San Francisco, Illinois. Yeah, so there you go. If you've got something going through one of these facilities that you just ordered, I'd be checking on it because nothing's going to be moving going through these places. I would like, if you're really needing something and you suspect it's going to be going through one of these places, man, I'd be calling somebody and tracking it down and like begging to get it sent a different way. Who knows? If they don't get their way, this could last into the new year. I mean, these strikes can last however long. But the timing, man, I know a lot of people are going to be upset because they're not getting what they ordered out there. What happens with these big strikes? So, as the next one says, it is the season to strike. So now Starbucks jumping on the strike bandwagon here. They hit the picket lines in a multi-state labor action. So, yeah, first Amazon, now Starbucks. Thousands of these unionized locations, Los Angeles, Chicago, Seattle, they're all set to hit the picket lines tomorrow. So all this planned, obviously, timed out before Christmas. That's their tactic here. If you ordered anything through them, was looking to get anything. These are all companies that I would have said, well, with Starbucks here, ought to boycott it anyway, just because they're evil and all their evil ties and all the things that they promoted during lockdowns and everything else. So don't forget them and all the companies that promoted all the crap. They should all be boycotted. That's what should happen. In my opinion, it's the only way to teach them a lesson, or they're going to do it again and again and again, and that's not looking out for American people. None of it was. It was a big, big test. We all know it was. I had problems with a lot of places, man. Like when I went in and they would try to pull the crap because I wasn't wearing a mask anywhere. Going into any of those retail shops. It surprised me down in Florida because I thought it would not be enforced as much. But we were still in the height of it, I guess, when I encountered that. Some lady just kept yelling at me, "Excuse me, sir." And I kept ignoring her. "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir." Like the women and the children or whatever, they were fine. They didn't have to mask. All this other crap. It was a stupid bent rule. And I was pissed. Ended up just walking outside, standing right outside the window and staring inside the store with my arms crossed. Like, you'll never get my business here. I'm never coming back here. Sadly, that happened at quite a few places. Cracker Barrel. They did some things that upset us. Shout outs to Waffle House, though. They rose to the occasion. They went above and beyond. They were a place that we could go into and we could eat. And we didn't have to worry about all that crap. So salutes. Always love me some Waffle House. If there's nothing else open on Christmas or a holiday like that, you always got that Waffle House. But yeah, they earned my likings there, man. I'll never forget it because we were down Tennessee and tried to roll into a Cracker Barrel, and they gave us problems, and we went across the street to a Waffle House and walked right in, no problems. Makes a difference. I say, you spend your money, American made, the best you can. We need to start manufacturing and making things, more things. That way people could spend more money here, and it go to Americans here. Now, we know Trump coming in. He's coming in with this economic plan. His first 100 days is going to emphasize this. And there's a lot tied into that. They say that for some people, they see this as the ace in the hole for Trump with the tariffs. Others are saying that, man, this can cause a disaster. It can backfire, as I've warned before. And we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. The U.S. began tariffs in 1790, but the Internal Revenue Code did not come into being until 1913. So for 123 years, the U.S. government funded itself mostly with tariffs, excess taxes, and borrowing without the benefit of income taxes. So the U.S. currently imports $3.5 trillion of goods per year. That's why I was saying it would help a lot if we made goods, because you cannot be in a position where you're just importing and you're not exporting. You wouldn't, if you're around 50-50, that's good, but you cannot be dependent on trying to import from all these other countries, because if you go to war, we're done. You ain't going to see none of it. It'll dry up, and you'll be feeling depression-type effects real quick when that happens. War-type of effects that you've never felt in your life. But they say that if only half of the 3.5 trillion of goods per year that we import was subject to 10% tariffs, that would generate 175 billion of new revenue. So it goes a long way there in that sense. And this is why, if it plays out like that, Trump said, well, we don't have to do nothing with taxes. We can do it all through the tariffs. But again, it can backfire. And tariffs is a wide thing. It's like popping off shots in a lot of different directions. You're going to get different results. They know this. Odds are some of it will fail. And some of it will be successful. That's kind of how I see where we're going with this. Let's just hope that it's not large scale, a failure where, like, if China bucks back and they're like, this is what we're doing, and they buck back hard, and then all of a sudden a bunch of smaller companies that were always on the fence or maybe leaning our way or too scared to say whatever, they just say the heck with it finally, and they go with China. Because everyone sees China as rising. And with BRICS and Russia and the whole thing, and they see the United States falling apart. So there's going to be a moment here, I'm telling you, it's already happening. More and more countries applying to BRICS, trying to get a part of it. They're going to make NATO a thing of the past. They already are. They're definitely the contender to it here on this world stage. To NATO. There's World War III, that's how it will shake out. NATO versus BRICS. That's just how it is. That's how it's come to be, for the most part. And a lot of times, Europe, Germany, the UK, all that, they're tied in with the West, with America. But Trump's firing shots at them too. He says, you guys are going to buy our oil and our gas, not from the very close next door and convenient Russia or Saudi Arabia or any of those pipelines coming into there. He's basically saying you're going to buy ours, or you can face a tariff war. And he uses the language there. Like, look, this is a tool for getting what he wants. War. Meaning they can strike back with their own tariffs as well. And sometimes, and oftentimes, this is how the first step they'll take. They'll be like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to hit you with this. And they'll return fire with tariffs on you. So this is what I'm talking about not being good. Because we, the people, pay for it in the end. I'm going to take you back to Trump's last presidency as an example. When he put the whole things on like washers or whatever, it went up like $170 per unit. It sure did. And it was because of that. And people, Trumpers, just ignoring it all, just wanting to vote him and get him in there. They don't see these things until it's too late or maybe never. I don't know. But it's a fact. It can hit us in the pocketbook harder than anyone. We would be the ones in the end paying for it. So, the next one says Trump's tariffs could kill commercial real estate. Yeah. Because he's talking about proposed tariffs on Chinese, Mexican, Canadian imports. And it's going to send shockwaves through an already vulnerable U.S. commercial real estate market. So, all these buildings that are empty, huge, big buildings, been around forever in downtown. I mean, just pick a city. Every single one of them's got them. Some are worse than others by far. Some are like big ghost towns, just hollowed out, not being rented out, not being used. What do you do when you start to see this in the country? When you start to see city after city crumbling? As we started to see with Detroit and other places, the infrastructure is falling apart because the government doesn't invest nothing into it. They're sending billions all around the world, but can't fix what's happening right here. We've had the water issue in all these places for years. They do not care. It's falling apart. So what do you do? What do you do? Do you let these buildings just continue to rot away forever in all these cities? At what point is it beyond savable? Where they just need to be knocked down. And then it's like, okay, you need to knock down half the city because you let it fall apart. I mean, seriously, knocking down and bulldozing half the freaking city, most of the city. It's crazy. They don't even have the money to do that. That's why they sit there and they rot away. This place is piss poor right now. This country been brought to its knees. We're in a lightweight like depression, definitely recession. Once you get into the Trump administration, I'm very clear. They're going to say that we've been in it finally and try to get everybody to realize that. And say that they're going to do the best they can and try to get us out of it. But initially, I don't think it's going to be the greatest. I see the biggest window of something happening bad within the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. With the economy, with all these tariffs going into motion, everything we're going to see real quick, it's either going to work or it's not. And if it doesn't, well, look at this. 50% of Canadian manufacturers are considering layoffs if Trump puts tariffs in motion. And he's going to. We know this without a doubt. 50% of Canadian manufacturers are just going to start laying everybody off. This is crazy. You know how many people are going to lose their jobs? Going to be put out in the cold? This isn't good, man. To a degree, you can strong arm things, right? To a degree. But when you do it too much, along comes someone else that's got a stronger arm. And you ever notice Trump? You ever seen him out there when he shakes hands with people? Seriously, watch him. He jerks them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's something he's known for. Jerking them real hard, like back and forth. Well, one of these days, somebody's going to come along, grab his hand, and he's going to jerk him, just like he does everybody else. For instance, metaphorically here, it's not going to be too good. America's going to get its shoulder dislocated by a bigger power. It's going to get checked. I'm telling you. I don't see how this works out well in the end, because we're not the bosses we used to be, in terms of we went around the world and forced everybody to do everything we wanted because of our military might. Now it's gone fruity and fell apart under this administration, and no one respects it. The Houthis shooting missiles at us. We can't even go in the shipping lanes. It's ridiculous. So it's a different world. Trump's really going to have to demand the respect, and we're going to have to flex militarily a little bit. We're going to have to show that we still got it. We got something. All right, here's one for you. A lot of people are going to be missing this. With bigger headlines floating around out there, they're going to be missing some of these financial stories that they could say are boring or don't matter. But, yeah, they're going to matter here any day when you can't get any money out of the bank. Okay? Remember what I was telling you about Bank of America? And it was tied into scandals. And that's why Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, was dumping it. And sure enough, it was. Right after he got done dumping, we come to find out they were involved in a scandal. They let it all out in the open. Then they pulled in more banks' names. And I told you, this could affect all of them big time. Well, that was with the fentanyl thing and the money laundering with the Chinese. And it started in TD Bank out of in Canada and out of Toronto. But now, here we go. More. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, that just got hit by the SEC in a different case, and Bank of America are facing federal lawsuits over Zelle payment network fraud. Okay? When the biggest banks start to get attacked left and right out there, it's a sign that it's going down. Okay? Because when they get dismantled, by design here, everybody's money gets lost in this mix. How'd you think it was going to happen? Either they're robbing it from all y'all's 401ks out of the markets when it dumps, because it's the only way they can get it, or they seize the banks up, and you can't get no money out. You just can't get any out. And I've warned about this because when you war game this, when you play this out, and you say, how do you get to bring the people to their knees? How do you take out the banks? And how do you get a digital currency into the hands of everyone? This is one of the best ways. You start right here like this in the banks. You start causing all kinds of commotion, chaos, because of lawsuits and fraud and fraudulent and criminal stuff. All criminal stuff. This will tear them down. And when that happens, again, it will seize them up big time. And when people can't get their money out of these institutions, they're going to panic. And then who's going to come to the rescue? The government. And they're going to say, look, we're going to send you Trump bucks. That's all they got to say. That's all they got to call it for these mindless sheep out here that just get led by the nose so easy. They won't even think twice. They're like, oh, it's not a CBDC. Trump said it wasn't. And they will, you watch. And they'll take it. And most of the people won't think twice anyway. When they're in a crisis 1 week in the future where they cannot get their money and it's a week behind on bills, rent, all this, and they need an answer, well, the government's going to have it. And they're going to be like, look, there's a digital wallet in your bank, and we're going to credit that wallet with whatever's in your account. Simply download this app, download the wallet, and it will be accepted everywhere. Okay? Would you know, it's already set up. It's already in motion. The federal government has made sure that every single person has a digital wallet in every single bank. Sure enough, the trap's done been set. It's all sitting there waiting to be put in motion. It's just sitting there. They have to find a way to get the people onto the system, is the thing. You see? And how are you going to do that with all these Trumpers? Well, just like I said, when I war game it and I play it out, it is the number one and the best way. Almost the only way. You've got to hold it hostage. Somehow you have got to seize the money up, hold it hostage, cyber attack, froze up, can't, whatever it's going to be. You got to freeze it up where they can't get it no more. That has to be the move. Do you understand? It has to be the move. And a lot of people are going to get caught in this. I would only keep enough money in the bank for the bills ahead, for the month, for like right ahead. And for most people, that's all they got anyway, paycheck to paycheck. But I would just, in terms of a savings or anything like that, because that's where the big chunk is, I would not be keeping it anywhere in there. Anywhere in there at all. When they can just rifle off 1,000 points off the S&P like they did the other day and tank it like they just did. We started off here tonight. At any given moment, you're stuck. You're stuck holding the bag. You cannot get your money out fast enough when these things tank. Most of the time, you're hearing the headlines. You're going to go over, and what are you going to do? Go sell the bottom now? That's not what you do. You sell tops. You buy tips. Sell tips. Anyhow, I'm just saying this is a whole nother fraud that can catch them up. It's unraveling. And with really no one paying attention to it, we're 30 days out till inauguration. Boy, oh boy. A lot of people out there complaining and crying about losing money in crypto for the past few days and whatever. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. When it comes to crypto, I'm not even in it. I told you. I told you last week. I was like, man, if I was in crypto, I would short the top. Just go back. Everything I say is recorded. It's there. Right before it hit 108, this is exactly what I kept telling everybody. If you're in the game, short it. This is where all the money to be made is going to be made off a $100,000 top. On your way down on Bitcoin, it could go all the way to zero. You would make money the whole way. Yes, you would. If you don't know nothing about shorting, you need to look into it. Because you make money as things come down and everything goes down. Bull markets are short-lived. The bear markets are the long ones. So if you learn to make money shorting in the reverse, you can make a ton. You see? Because everything's getting destroyed. Come on. Just take a pick. Anyhow, crypto, a digital, nothing compared to gold. Just imagine when gold hits these levels and takes off and goes bananas. It's going to be something else. But if you can make money in crypto and avoid the tax trap, good luck. More power to you. I've done told you it's all trackable, traceable. Better not be trying to do anything nefarious because they made it and they're tracking it all. Can't you see all these dudes that run ransom attacks and use Bitcoin? They end up getting busted. Nick, I'm going to tell you this later. Oh, we busted them. We tracked them back on the Bitcoin network that was made by the NSA. Okay, that's who Satoshi is. And this whole thing was pushed to warm everyone up to it, to really get everyone warmed up to the idea of digital currency, period. So a CBDC type of currency could be installed. Now, you betcha under a Trump administration, it'll never be pushed under a CBDC name. But if it was pushed under a different form, it would. And what did they invest in? This world coin. He's all in for all this crypto and everything else. So he's bringing it down the other avenue. And you just have to be aware. You're at the top of a bull market right now. The highest Bitcoin's ever been. So it's going to look like it's all great. I thank you, cigarettes, for that membership gift. Appreciate it to the fullest. It's going to look right now like everything's great. Everything popping off. Anyone that's been holding on to something saying, yeah, my account's fat and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you from experience. I've lived through these cycles, the tops of Bitcoin, many times now. Many times. Okay? And I'm glad that I paid attention to them. They're very short-lived. the top could already be in on this cycle. And you ain't going to see another one till another couple years before it takes back off. And you just never know. Everyone just thinks it's going to keep going and going and going. Got this magic number in their head that it's going to hit this. It's going to hit 150. It's going to hit 200. It's going to hit this and that, and it never does it. While they keep thinking that, their bag dwindles away. It happens every single time. What also happens is what you see on the screen. People like this Hawk Tua girl that literally know nothing about the space, that know nothing about any of it because they've never taken the time to even study it, ever. They, because of their fame or popularity, they get used. We've seen a lot of famous people, Katy Perry's and others, like get caught up in this and actually have to go to court and have to pay back money just like this. Hawk Tua girl, Haley Welch, made a crypto or joined a group of people, and this can be dangerous, that had a crypto, and they used her likeness and all that to push it, and it was a scam. And what they do is they hold on to a majority of the coins, they push it out there, and when they launch it like they did with her on her live stream, they dump on the top. The market cap on this crypto thing got up to hundreds of millions. I bet you this girl ain't get a dime of it. She got used and abused and thrown to the curb. And when the whole thing dumped out, the last words this girl said on her live show, which they were live like every day, was, "I'm going to bed. See you guys." And like they haven't seen her in weeks. Now, lawsuits flying all over the place. And in the end, I don't know what's going to happen, but you've got to be smart. You just got to be smart. I mean, they're all a scam like this. Like, what were you even investing in? A Hawk Tua coin? Like, what were you thinking? They get caught up in hype, and they lost a lot of money in it. They're all nothing. I don't care if it's Doge. I don't care if it's XRP. I don't care what it is. People are out there shilling. They're all digital nothings, man. You can't take them to the bank and get gold in return, for sure. And what's crazy is BRICS and all them, China and all them are talking about doing that. And that's going to be a power move. And it may be a move that even has to be made in America to save the dollar, to reback it with gold or something. You hear Trump keeps talking about this crypto reserve possibility, this and that. Again, if you create a crypto reserve, I wouldn't be talking about doing it now. I'd do it, but I wouldn't be investing in it. Come down off the top. Everybody that's throwing money into this thing right now at $100,000 Bitcoin is going to be kicking themselves in the ass down the road when it's pulled back to like 60, 70 or less. It's going to have huge, healthy pullbacks. It just will, and it will bear out for a while. It always does before it legs up. That's how it works. So again, if you really want to make money, I'd be looking into shorting and all that. Or into gold and silver. Gold and silver is really where it's at, and it's got a little bit of a pullback. They appear stable. The stock market drops, but gold, silver maintains. It doesn't fall back with it all. That's a sure sign. It's very strong, and it's going to continue to be bought up. Going to continue. Any pullbacks in gold and silver, I would grab. I'd almost treat it like China right now. It doesn't matter the price, ever. You just buy it. You buy it, stack it. One thing that people also invest in out there is real estate. I just told you guys earlier, it can get wrecked real quick with the whole tariff thing. It's all about where you're buying, I guess, and what you're doing. If you're in an area that's not seeing a lot of business, a lot of people, a ghost town like the mall that I showed you earlier, you're not going to do well. If you pick a poppin' spot, it's got a lot of tourism, and it's vibrant, the odds of your business doing better, are greatly increased. But you've got to watch out for things like this when buildings start to sink. It's happening more and more on the coastline, and it's going to happen where eventually down the road, some of these coastlines are going to be underwater. We see ancient places like Dwarka and off the coastlines of other countries where these civilizations existed and were there that are now underwater. Not every city, but when you've got something as huge as a skyscraper like that, like sitting right there on a sandy beach, it's like almost inevitable. It's going to start slipping at some point. Tacos, thank you for the 3 coffees. He has profited immensely from the gold and silver. Much love. Hey, and may the Most High bless you to keep on making moves, brother. Thank you for that. Thank you for the coffees. And I'm glad that you've been one of the ones that's listened throughout the years, and you've taken it to other levels, smelting and everything that you're doing. For real. And Mark, thank you for the coffee, and Merry Christmas. Right back to you and everyone else out there. Check this out. I keep telling you about nuclear power, and they're like shifting toward it. They need to just give us the free energy, which at some point here, it may be part of all this disclosure and everything that's happening, because there has to be a shift. There has to be like a paradigm shift in terms of technology, what we're doing, all this stuff. There has to be a shift, or we're just going to stay stuck in one area. There's never going to be any advancement. And you can see here Virginia is about to be home to the world's first nuclear fusion power plant. In Virginia. It's going to triple the energy demand to 30,000 megawatts. It's going to be in place by 2040. This is going to be something new. I mean, what happens if a disaster happens at somewhere like this? Who knows? We've never seen it. This is going to be built and designed different than like Fukushima and things of that nature. It still has a nuclear capacity, obviously, and could be dangerous. So, yeah. We just need to get it over with, and the whole thing with free energy, ether energy out of the thin air. We need to put it in motion. If you're going to tear down a place, and well, maybe that's the plan. You look at the infrastructure here that's completely in shambles. Well, to advance into the future with all this high technology, this whole place would have to be redone. So it would. All of it. In terms of everything. I mean, if you did the whole ether power thing, you wouldn't have to. You could just set it up in every city. You wouldn't have to ship in power. Of course, the whole world would change at that point. You couldn't muscle these places over these resources. Coal, natural gas, nuclear, all this would be obsolete at that point. When every single person realizes that we can just snatch this power right out of the air and use as much as we want for free. It's game over. They realized this a long time ago. I hate to tell you, but J.P. Morgan Chase told Nikola Tesla that we're not doing your little idea. We're going to put a meter on everyone's house, and we're going to control them. We're going to make them pay a bill every month, and we're going to control them. And so they've known about this. If they wanted that world to exist, they would have made it. But we're heading into an era, into a time where that is fast. It's like fast approaching. It's almost like they've got to clean the slate. They got to wipe out the old to bring in the new, which is kind of scary. What's going to happen in the mix of this? All right, let me jump into some bigger headlines now. As we get here toward the top of the hour, we've got at least 2 dead, 60 injured, and what they're saying is an attack that took place on a German Christmas market. They're saying a Saudi driver has been arrested. The suspect is a 50-year-old Saudi doctor who first came to Germany in 2006. And I'm not going to play... I'll play the footage here of them arresting the dude, it looks like. I'm not going to play the footage of the car ramming all the people. I mean, you can see that on social media over on X, like any number of places. If you want to go see it, it is graphic. That's why I can't play it here.
Leg dich hin! Leg dich hin! Die Hände auf der Decke! Die Hände! Bleib liegen! Bleib liegen! Eine Bewegung! Weiter unten! Bleib liegen! Bleib liegen! Eine Bewegung! Liegen bleiben! Liegen bleiben! Liegen bleiben! Bleib liegen! Ich sag's dir! Eine Bewegung! Vorsicht! Vorsicht!
Paddy wagon pulls up, man, looked like a clown car. All these cops popped out of it, like more than it looked like it even fit in it. So they got the guy, the suspect. He was arrested shortly after. So just saying, you know, rest in peace to the souls taken here. It is evilness. Anytime you get these crowds targeted like this, and I'm going to warn everybody, man, stay vigilant, because I feel like stuff like this is going to hit America. I think that that's what's coming to America, and it could start right now, at any moment. What do you think these people are going to do that they're trying to round up and get out of here? They're going to fight back. They're going to start doing terrorist acts on another level, you ask me. And it's all meant as the OBS kicked out and back in there. I can see people saying buffering. I'm going to wait till I get a 5x5 here. And then keep it pushing. All right, that was quick. Win the pain. Gabe, everybody, really quick, always on. I thank you very much. For anyone that don't know, whenever my OBS kicks out like that, it slightly buffers for a second, but then we're good to go. That's usually the worst that you're going to get on my end. And you can hear it when it does it. So, keep it pushing here. I'm going to play this clip of a train taking out all types of stuff. This is a massive collision that just took place in Pecos Police Department here, talking about this in Lee County. Reeves County, Texas. Train coming through, and just here, I'll show you guys.
Get the out. La way.
He's moving fast.
La Esta la
Thank you for the coffees, Deanne. I'll answer that here in just a second.
oh.
Yeah, man. Huge derailment there. Caused a lot of damage, as you're going to see here. Could have been worse. Could have been way worse, to be honest with you. All right, so you guys seen that? All right. check again now that I'm not playing any video. Make sure everything is good. The mic. We're good here. And we'll jump into this Nick Fuentes assassination situation here. Which is pretty crazy. Yeah, so Deanne. Thank you, Kathy. I can't read the Russian, but thank you there. Thank you for all the feedback, Steve, everyone. I've got had something lined up in me look here in the lineup. It's something on that specifically right here. And I'll just go ahead and I'll pull it up and we'll jump to that. Since you asked about it, I had that in the title earlier, but so this is what's going on. We've got a situation where all of a sudden Kamala Harris abruptly canceled her planned trip to Los Angeles, and she did so late last night, opting to remain in D.C., and then Biden unexpectedly returned to the White House as well. And they're saying, hold on, what's going on here? Sudden change in schedule has fueled speculation about some kind of growing crisis that's going on right now within the Biden regime and what's going on here. Of course, we're 30 days out. There's all this talk of a shutdown. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. But they say that she was scheduled to depart from Washington at 9:15 for a late night arrival in L.A. and canceled it. It says here they put out a release saying the daily guidance for the vice president is as she will receive briefings on and conduct internal meetings with staff. They will be closed to the press. So they came back to have meetings about something. Something's going on that is important enough for both of them, the president and vice president, to cancel their trips and to be having these closed-door meetings all of a sudden. Okay? And then, I mean, there's no other word. I mean, like, top secret is top secret, so it's all like speculation. I'll play this here. And they're never going to just come out and tell the public and, you know, anything that's like major. I mean, they lie to us about everything as is. This is what people were seeing in the streets. So people were like, hold on, what's going on here? And they're like, well, that's Kamala. So yeah, this is what sparked a lot of speculation. This right here, this was floating around. People saw that, and then this clip. It says, you know, Biden gets escorted back into the White House, and they're like, hold on, what? So both have canceled their trips here. There's no answers. Like, you can speculate and guess all day long, but it could be anything. It could be anything. What I'm saying is, like, there's something huge about to happen. There is something absolutely huge about to happen. Huge. I can't stress it enough. You know, I say it at every stream. You can feel it in the air. Like, they've set the stage for this. Literally 30 days out, a month away from Trump in the inauguration. Man, I told myself I'd never go back to D.C. I don't even want to, but like a part of me. Man, I wish I was up in this area for a lot of different reasons right now. Just all the drone stuff and everything else, just to capture the footage, to chase them. everything that's about to go down here in this area in the next 30 days, I feel like there's a lot happening. As you're gonna see, I got more to report on here in a little bit, but since you asked, there you go. What it could be, I don't know. I mean, we could speculate it's over the drone things. It could be tied into it, and all this other stuff. But it's just speculation at this point. I mean, it could be anything. All right. So this brings me to a very important topic here, because people that get doxxed and people that have lunatics show up at their homes, it's a very serious thing. I know. I've been swatted on the streams. It's all this stuff. It's some sick individuals out there that, whether it's jealousy, envy, or just indoctrinated with whatever from the other side or whatever it is. There's nutcases out there that are willing to kill. And in this situation, love him or hate him, Nick Fuentes. He had an armed assassin attempt to take him out Wednesday evening after he was doxxed, and it was put out there where his home was. This individual that showed up at his house is now dead. And Fuentes is okay. Apparently, the cops engaged this individual and shot him dead. He showed up with a pistol, with a crossbow, and an incendiary device at the door of Fuentes. And a lot of this, and you can see right here, he parked his car, as he said, in front of the house, approached the door. He's right here on camera. You could see. I mean, like, who has a gun? I mean, come on. You got a gun in your hand at the door, saying, come out, ringing the doorbell. You lay down a crossbow. You got a gun in your hand. I mean, no one in the right mind is opening a door to that. Okay? So, this individual that shows up is basically threatening him at the door, saying, open the door, and he just came from another scene. Yeah. Now, earlier this month, to give you kind of a backstory on this, Fuentes was charged with battery because a 57-year-old woman showed up at his house in Illinois and confronted him, came up to his house and, ran up on him. I don't know what some of these people are thinking, but he opened the door and he pepper sprayed her to get her back. He caught a lot of attention, but it also gave away exactly where he lived. And to be honest with you, they're going to tell him he should have called the cops in that situation as well, and he shouldn't have opened the door and sprayed her, because that's where they hit him with the charge, with the battery charge, for pepper spraying her. If he just kept his door shut and never opened it and just called the cops, he would have dodged a charge. And, but this is all about where you live and where you put yourself, right? If you want to live right in the middle of wherever and make yourself easy to find and be a person like this that can be a target, you might want to think this through again. When you get to a certain level of, like Fuentes has here, of fame, crazy stuff like this is going to happen. So an armed killer that fatally shot a family nearby in a triple homicide shows up here. What are the odds? Dude has it out and kills all these other people and says, oh yeah, just so happen to know that Fuentes lives right here, or whoever, your house, fill in the blank with your house, lives right here. Let's stop and pay him a visit before I get killed today by the cops. So, dude, at this point, he done killed multiple people. Okay, he's a killer, and he was there to kill. As stupid as he is, well, he's dead now. Showing up with a gun, like this, he's lucky he didn't get shot through the door, But like, again, if that would have happened, they would have hit Fuentes with charges, I'm sure. Because he did not kick in the door. If he would have kicked in the door, then it was game on. If he like broke into the door, but to shoot him through the door, when he could have called the cops and all that, is going to be their argument. Regardless, Fuentes made it out of this without getting injured. People shouldn't have to worry like this about crazed maniacs showing up like this, but this is what happened. Killer shot dead by police. He won't be doing this no more, that's for sure. Yeah, it raises the question, well, Fuentes moved now. We moved to a different location. Try to be more secure about his stuff. When you're going to be someone that's in his position, that's outspoken and targeted. He is targeted. He has been targeted. That's one of the main things about Fuentes. He said they want to say he was anti-Semite or this and that and all these other things they tried to hit him with and label him as white supremacist and all these things. He'll come out and say, I'm not, but they'll do that to you. And when you start getting attacked like that, well, they're little goons that are out there, all over the place like this guy, what can target you. It's just the reality of it, man. I don't know. Just crazy world. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to an update on the shooting that happened at the Wisconsin Christian school. They're now saying that a California man has been detained for conspiring with the teen that was involved with this whole thing. So, goes on to say here that FBI agents have detained 20-year-old Alexander Pfaffendorf for conspiring with Madison, or with Samantha Rupnow. And this whole thing had all the feels of a type of an event we're used to seeing throughout the years, where there's nefarious players involved all the time, and nothing is what it seems. But, I think it was pretty crazy that from the Obama administration into the Trump administration last time, the shootings, like, they almost disappeared. Like this type of. But when Biden got back in, they came right back. And they've been there the whole time, all the way up here till his exit. Elon thinks he's got all the answers. Well, maybe he doesn't. Well, he surely doesn't. I don't trust him. I don't trust none of them. There's a huge orchestration underway. Unless you really are open-minded and have the eyes to see it, most people are not going to see it. They're getting caught up in it, which is what you never want to do. You never want to get swept up into the politics. I'll touch more on that here in a second. First, an update here on this United Healthcare CEO thing. They're saying that he, too, did not act alone. That this has more connections. Okay, so they're saying there's evidence. All this is unfolding, showing that there's no way he did this alone, that there had to be at least one person helping him, if not multiple. And they sit down and they're going through this as investigators, and they're going step by step, and they're playing the whole thing out, which is what you do to cover all the tracks of everything. And what they're finding is that the odds alone of him finding randomly the guy that he shot, where he did, hopping out and everything, are near impossible. That there had to be some others involved in this, helping and tracking and all this. And it's like, yeah, well, don't you think? And that should all be trackable and traceable on cell phones and digital stuff because they had to communicate. All those comms are trackable and traceable. Unless it's high level encryption and all that, which would, the only way you would have that is if it was like feds. Okay, so this has had just red flags all over it. Remember, we connected this whole thing from the guy that got shot, the CEO, Brian Thompson, his murder. He was being investigated by the feds for doing insider trading at a high level with some big people, big names, big companies. And it just so happens that in an investigation into one of these companies with Palo Alto is what Nancy Pelosi was tied into. And she was said to have given this man $250,000 for investment before all this. So it directly connects Pelosi and all them into all this. And if you want to knock the man off and hush him up, this is how it would go down. There would be a full-fledged cover story and all this stuff, just like we've seen. There would be a fake manifesto drawn up, just like we've seen. All this stuff. What do we have here? Records reveal that Nancy and Paul Pelosi cashed in on federal COVID bailouts. They just got their hand in every cookie jar, and they're getting away with all of it. And just look at their faces here. That is really, truly what they're doing. So, there is a place, this 5-star hillside hotel and spa. It has panoramic views in Napa Valley. That is an hour's drive from San Francisco. It sells out nightly for $2,000 to A-list celebrities and all that stuff. And some of the investors of this are Pelosi, or both Pelosi's here. They're saying that they got millions through the COVID thing for this business. That they somehow concocted all this here. And they're probably going to get away with it. You see all these other people getting busted and taken down, and rightfully so, for trying to do criminal things. Well, they're saying that they got all this money to put into this business, and it just goes to show that they're getting away with all this stuff. Now, look, celebrity piggy bank scandal, maybe. They're saying that this taxpayer-funded pandemic relief program basically became a cash grab for all kinds of people. Not only Pelosi and them, but a bunch, including Hollywood musicians. Yeah, it's saying right here in a jaw-dropping expose, new details reveal how the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant, or SVOG, which is a taxpayer-funded pandemic relief program that was established to save businesses and independent arts organizations, had allegedly turned into a financial free-for-all for Hollywood celebrities. Not just Hollywood celebrities, but, musicians here, like Lil Wayne, Chris Brown. And that was signed into law by then-President Trump in 2020 and was championed by Chuck Schumer and a bunch of others that were saying that it was key. But then, cats like Lil Wayne, whose real name is Dwayne Carter, he received $8.9 million in a grant. And instead of directing those funds towards sustaining his music operations, he reportedly spent $1.3 million on private jet flights, more than $460,000 on designer clothes like Gucci and more. He billed, additionally, he billed taxpayers nearly $88,000 for a New Year's Eve concert in Coachella, California, which he ultimately canceled, and $14,000 for mystery woman hotel stays. So, similarly, Chris Brown's company, CBE Touring, secured a $10 million grant. These are grants, okay? Grants, you don't pay them back. Brown personally pocketed $5.1 million and used approximately $80,000 to fund a lavish birthday party, complete with atmosphere models, an LED dance floor, and other extravagances. Also, $180,000 for a charity baseball game, $24,000 for a tour bus to New Mexico, where he reportedly vacationed for a month. And it didn't stop with them. They say pop and EDM stars also joined the cash grab. DJ Marshmello, or Christopher Comstock, he received $9.9 million with his business manager, claiming that the money went directly into Comstock's personal account. Steve Aoki, DJ Kid Millionaire, pocketed $2.4 million on payroll. Shinedown got in on the action, splitting $2.5 million among 3 members from an $8.3 million grant. Alice in Chains members took large distributions from their grant, despite selling their catalog for $48 million. The scandal extends into NKSFB, which reportedly secured $207 million for clients and pocketed over $7 million in fees. It just goes on and on and on. So, like, while us everyday people were, suffering out here, these guys were just a free-for-all. All these businesses, you've seen other people get busted and they've had to pay this back or go to jail. Like, what happens to all these goons? Like, if they can't prove that the money went toward a certain something, I mean, like, what the... I don't know what's going to come of this, but you can see here that all of them did it. Big time. Big time. And I don't know, maybe with Trump and all them coming in here and then cleaning house and all this, some of these people are getting hung out to dry. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're about to enter a new year. 2025. And I wanted to point out the Economist magazine and the images that are on it. Speculation, always surrounds the Economist magazine. It seems to telegraph things ahead, what could potentially happen or be coming in the future. And they always seem to hide little things that are ticker taped into the images that are associated with what's to come. Almost like predictions, so to speak. Well, and people asked me what I thought about this, and I think I put out a tweet with some thoughts on it, but there's a few things that jump out right out the gate with this. Saturn is sitting right at the top in the middle inside of its black cube. This is showing you front and center, right in front of your face, who and what controls, and from the religious aspect, all of this on the world stage. Every bit of it, even through The Economist, even through this image, they are showing you. They are showing you. Okay? It sits chief among all of it, atop all of it, amongst a black and red theme. Okay? Now, what I haven't figured out is what this object is, and it reminds me of Nibiru. The missing planet, the planet of destruction, and all these other things, or a comet, an asteroid, some kind of heavenly ball of fire. Heavenly ball of fire of some sort is what this is representing. It reminds me of Nibiru, a red dwarf. You can also see down arrows around America, okay, and around the currency here. So the yen or the yuan, it's one of the two, going down. Notice a radiation thing in the eye right next to this chancellor, connected to Europe. So nuclear radiation right next to this chancellor of Europe in NATO. Okay. It looks like, Trump coming in, things going up. They should, all in all. You see a rocket. Is this pertaining to Elon? Right next to him? Very well could be. Or is this pertaining to Russian, which is right next to it, hypersonic missiles, which are all the talk and all the rage right now. And if no one can stop them, they are the weapon on the world stage right now. Until all this new technology is about to be rolled out. And we're entering a new era. Now, there's also a nuclear sign right next to Putin. There is a nuclear sign and a rocket right there. Okay? So all that is huge. The all-seeing eye off the dollar, the time's ticking on it, and you can see they put China on the top. Do you see what this signifies? China is the one that they are looking to rise to the occasion. This is the plan. We've known it the whole time. We've been talking about it now for years. It's happening right in front of your face. As America comes down, China is to advance on the world stage. Thank you for the coffees, Hunter. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn will appear, yes, in the alignment that's coming up. And I'll touch more on that as we approach that. But that is very true. We need to key in on the celestial events because as above, so below. And they match these events. If you don't know, that's how it works. They target those events. If there's something that aligns in the heavens, they will play it out down here on Earth. That's how it goes. That's why when there's certain windows like that 9/11 fell on, they time it with celestial events, with like Mercury in retrograde and things like that, or a certain Saturn going through the house of Aquarius or Aries or anything like that, a combination of celestial events that mean huge things. May not to the masses, but to them it means everything. They're showing you as much with Saturn. So, I can't stress enough here the darkened out cities as well. This may be signifying lights out, a huge, massive event, putting cities in the dark. There's no other way to put it in an image besides doing just this right here in a dark image where everything's blacked out. But you can see it's a city. But it's not lit up. It's not a pretty city. It's a dark city. And it is top of the list. And who's sitting next to it? China. And I believe that they will be the ones blamed for bringing down this country when it's all said and done. Their side, BRICS, look, and what is their side? Their side is Putin and Xi Jinping, China. Russia may take some big hits here because they're not destined to advance on this world stage like China, okay? And Trump even said it himself, that if there was to be any kind of separation, you would want to drive a wedge in between Russia and China. And he just came out the other day and goes, Xi Jinping's a really good man. He's a really good dude. He starts saying all these things. It's like, what? Like, man, here on the world stage. All right, now, I'm going to put, and I want you to also notice here. Look, notice what we got here. Notice this. There's an eye, there's a nose in here, and there is a mouth right here. There's a face hidden in there. If you haven't seen it, a full face hidden in there. I forget the woman's name. They said that earlier. what is this? This almost looks like DNA or like, what is this down here? This image there is very curious to me. Along with this one here, that's like a chip. But this is my final one. My final one. Well, actually, hold on. What do we have here that I've overlooked the whole time? What the hell is that? Dude, that is a mushroom cloud. That is a mushroom cloud. Just so eloquently hidden in plain view, the smallest little image of anything major. Just kind of like hidden there and obscurely painted. That is a freaking mushroom cloud coming up out of something right there. Right next to a fist that's raised underneath of Putin, underneath of the nuclear radiation sign. Okay? And the world is surrounded in red. The whole world is affected by something. What is right next to it? A jab. Do you see? Do you see this? Right next to the whole world is a needle. This thing jumps out at me more than anything. This needle. This is signifying the next pandemic or plague or whatever they're about to throw at us is going to happen in 2025. Only other thing that it could be, to me, Russia just came out and said they had a cure for cancer. This is eerie. Because you remember I Am Legend with Will Smith, right? Huh? What happened? It mutated and turned the people into freaking zombie vampires. A cure for cancer. 10,000 people it worked on, every single one of them in the beginning. And then it goes 3 years later, and the whole place is hell. Just like Rage. It's just like Rage out of 28 days later. How was it implemented? It was put into the population because everyone believed it was a cure. They manipulated the measles in the show, in the movie with Will Smith. Wow. That jab next to the planet right there, I'm telling you, that is like the most ominous thing. Right there. This is signaling something huge to come. Something huge. Notice though, in this one, you've got the United States and them over here on this side. And then it's basically, and thank you, D. Thomas, for the coffees. Much love. This one is showing Africa. It's all of Europe and Asia. It's showing this side of the world. Regardless, this is heavy on me. This whole block, all in here is major. Of course, Trump's front and center. No one predicts the future better, though, than what Nostradamus and Baba Vanga are doing. Of course, both legendary at this point. And you may not know Baba Vanga is not as popular as Nostradamus, but let me tell you, a lot of her stuff is coming true and has been throughout the years. And Baba Vanga was a blind Bulgarian mystic. She was known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans. Her predictions or prophecies are still gaining a lot of attention because of how accurate they are. And we're going to talk about some. And what's crazy is she died in 1996. I'm a firm believer that there's waves of energy, cycles, like a pendulum that goes back and forth. And that some something in that window of 96, there was something special about it. It just was. I remember back in my life, there was just something about that time that I was so much carefree and younger, and there was so much less issues in the world. But I remember for all my life, 96 always stuck out because that's the year they killed Tupac when I was young. And I was 16. I was 16. So it hung heavy with me. And now that I see that a lot of things are tying back to 1996, it's crazy. This is one, Baba Vanga dying. And I'm going to, here, just let me go ahead and go over here and go to my profile and pull up this other one. I don't think I did. It's in the links. Of a video. Okay. So I'm just gonna explain to you. I'm not gonna be able to show it to you because I don't have the image. I put it in the video, and I did not tweet a still of it out. It didn't look like an image of it out. No, I didn't. So I'm just gonna explain to you, and you can do your own research, and you can see and you can find what I'm talking about. It's just a document. It's just an image of a document, and it's in Linda Moulton Howe. You may know this woman, or it may ring a bell because it goes back to Art Bell's Coast to Coast AM from back then. That was the big show, and was for years and years, where all these people that had information on things would go to Art Bell into these shows and divulge their information. Well, in 1996, Howe was given this piece of paper, and it was from someone exposing and stating what was going to happen with disclosure in extraterrestrial life and entities. In this paper that was given to her, that I show in the video that I posted on my YouTube channel today, the prophecies of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, at the very bottom, it states in the closing that this event will happen in the future of full-scale disclosure, and it will happen and take place in the year specifically of 2025. Okay? So this insider information from all the way back then, this old-ass document from 1996, it called this for right now. Do you understand? 2025, I want to preface that, okay? And I just find it so a weird connection there that this information this shows up on the scene at the same time Baba Vanga dies in 96. So, what does Baba Vanga predict? Let's look at it here. Let's talk about it. We have several major ones that I want to point out. First off, she is warned of, in no particular order, we'll just go down as they're listing them here. Global conflict, a potential third world war triggered by tensions between the U.S. and China, leading to widespread destruction, particularly in the West. This is not good, but it's all there. We've known as much, right? So this is one of her predictions. And this is from, remember, she died in 96, way before any tensions. She didn't know none of this. She died in 96, so all this came prior to that. Okay? There was none of these tensions, especially with China. Okay? So the next one says Europe's destruction. A catastrophic conflict involving major nations, as hinted in her predicting, linking the fall of Syria to a larger war. Now, this is absolutely crazy because Syria just fell last week. Or the week before. You get it. It just happened. It just happened. We're living in that time, man. We're living in that window. So She is saying that the fall is going to lead to a massive, much more widespread war in the way that Israel is popping off rounds and anyone and everywhere, taking over Mount Hermon, going in Lebanon, going into Gaza. It's going to be Jordan next. It's going to be wherever. They have a greater Israel project, if you don't know, and they're gaming for it, and this is all carving it out. And if you don't know, the plan has been for Ukraine the whole time to be their new Israel. If you missed that somewhere. Oh, yeah. Their great master, one of their rabbis that wrote it, said that, yes, the people of that area were chosen for liquidation, and that this place would be the heart of their new Israel. Old Khazaria. Okay? Now, this is their plans. And this is why these things are happening in these areas, if you're wondering. So when I see Europe's destruction here, boy, everything that's going on between Israel and Ukraine right now on those two fronts, there it is. There it is. So, and I'm going to circle back to this with Nostradamus because he echoes the same thing, but just in a bit of a different way. Next is really the big one. All right, well, before I touch on what you can see there, the alien contact, let me just touch on actually this third one, a medical breakthrough for 2025. And this speaks on cancer treatment, major strides, possibly even a cure. And what did Russia just say? They're rolling out this thing. So it's really going to hit the scene in 2025. It's going to be all over the place, being sent and around the world or tested and all this. So that's just crazy right there. All this is on point. Now, contact and telepathy breakthroughs. She claims that extraterrestrial encounters, aliens, or what we're going to tell you are the fallen, demonic beings. She suggested that humanity might contact this life, potentially resulting in a global crisis. Speculation around UFO disclosure adds weight to this prediction. She also says that mind-to-mind communication, telepathy, there will be advancements here. You know, like Elon Musk's brain chip, but not just that. If they introduce us to the fallen, if they introduce us to this life, disclosure happens, you're going to know how they communicate. And it's going to be telepathic. And all of it is going to be out there. We all know telepathy is a real thing anyway. It's just, apparently there's going to be an advancement here. If people can learn how to do it or something like that, it's going to be different. It's going to change the way, I mean, if that could change the way the modern human operates, if people stop talking and start telepathically communicating, it's going to change everything. It's going to change the whole dynamic of this life, of how humans flow. It would change it in an instant. It just reminds me of how God put rules into place in the beginning and told the watchers not to do certain things and not to teach the people certain things, kind of let them come along in a natural process, but they didn't listen. And here we are. Wow. So, thank you, Michael King. Much love. Thank you for the super chat and the comment. I don't believe in coincidences. You've got Stephen Greer out here saying in the next 30 days, the biggest event in human history is about to happen. He's calling it disclosure. You have that piece of paper, Linda Moulton Howe, that says that in 2025, disclosure is going to happen. That's two. That's two things. Okay? Then you have three. You have Baba Vanga here saying it all that it's going to happen. Again, it's three, pointing to 2025 is going to be the year of disclosure. that they're going to tell us something about life. Do you understand? It's going to happen. Okay? Now, let's jump to the big dog. Let's get on over here to Nostradamus and look at a couple of his predictions for the same year. Okay? He put out a slew of different stuff, 942 different predictions in 1555. His last prediction came true, his very last one, saying that they'd find him not alive the very next day. And they did at sunrise. He died at the age of 62. But, nearly 1,000 predictions, a ton of them have come true. But I will say that when it comes to some of these predictions, it's sometimes in the eye of the beholder. Of course, everything is. And it's how you want to interpret it. But some of them are very clear. And when you're a 16th century person seeing things in the future or future events, you can only describe them with what you know. Seeing two towers ablaze, like twin towers and coming down or something like that, and describing them as just being, well, he could even call them towers. But that's it. He wouldn't say skyscrapers. He wouldn't call them anything that he didn't know. And same thing with airplanes, seeing metal birds. Best way he could describe it. Things of that nature. Just like the Indians. Indians the same way. The Hopi and all them. Can only describe the things with what they can relate to. So he's calling for some kind of disasters to hit on coastlines where flooding is going to be a major issue, and that Brazil specifically, like the Amazon or areas down there, are going to see flooding and things of that nature. Now, these are the biggest ones right here to me. War and plague in Europe. And this is ominous. He says that when those from the lands of Europe see England set up her throne behind, her flanks there will be cruel wars. The ancient plague will be worse than the enemies. This isn't good, dude. He's talking of a plague that breaks loose in 2025, and you'd be a damn fool to think it's just going to stay contained in one place, knowing what they've done. They are going to lock this place down cold, and it looks like it's going to emanate out of Europe and affect it the most, the heart of it. It's where it's going to come from. It reminds me of 28 Days Later. But, it reminds me of that damn jab and everything we just seen on the cover. It all ties in together. So here we go. Nostradamus calling for war all across Europe. It's going to be NATO. It's going to involve Russia and everything that you see in a plague that he says is going to be worse than the enemies. That means that this one's going to be real. It's not going to be fake. It's not going to be a scam beta test. It's going to be real. And that's been the biggest fear. And let me tell you, if you've been following me this whole time, you know it. All this is just confirmation for what we have been saying every single step of the way. 2021, 22, 23, 24, every step of the way, I've warned you that this year coming up, 25, is the year. I changed my whole life for it. I dropped everything for it. And for all these years, I've been preparing for this moment. Because Bill Gates told us multiple times that the next one's coming in 5 years. He said this in 2020, and I didn't forget. I've given up everything to prepare for this moment. I hope you've done something instead of sit there. Because this next one's going to be real. And as I said before, the visions God gave me and showed me, you're not even going to want to go to your mailbox. You're not even going to go nowhere. There's no going to a store. There's no going anywhere, doing nothing. It will freeze up, lock up, cold. No one will want to go anywhere. There'll be bodies piled up at the ends of driveways. There'll be incinerator trucks coming through, just burning them. That's a real pandemic, and you don't know it because you ain't never lived through it. Everybody lived through a beta test to get you ready for this, to get you ready for what's about to happen. It's a nightmare, man. You would pray to the Most High. These days are cut short, because the hell that they're going to unleash isn't going to be good. And you know that they were going to save their big show for the end. So here we go. Here's the final one. Or two, if you will. Tie them in together. There's going to be some kind of... Well, he says, from the cosmos, a fireball will arise. A harbinger of fate. The world please. Science and fate in the cosmic dance. The fate of Earth a second chance. What does this mean? Very interesting. Anything pops up on the radar out of nowhere for this year. And people are already talking about an Earth-sized asteroid, an near-Earth asteroid called 2024 PT5. It's going to pass in 2025. All right, and this is where Nostradamus talks about this other life form. It's how I see it. They try to tie it into climate change. How? I do not know, because it mentions the ocean here. That they totally missed it on here and that. I'm going to tell you, what he says it all. We are the resistance, Michael. Thank you. Much love. What he says it all. Okay? This is for 2025. The government will struggle to deal with situations, and flooding on coastlines will happen. He predicts a mysterious leader will come from the sea, and with them, they will bring an aquatic empire. As above, so below. They've been here the whole time. They are the fallen. And they are about to present them as I don't even know what to the masses. I'm here to tell you right now. I want you to remember, maybe some of you aren't religious, you didn't read the Bible and all this, but you need to get caught up on the history. That thing is a history book too, not just a religious book. It is telling you what happened in history. And these things are here. They always have been. It's not been kept a secret. They're about to bring them out in front of everyone. And I don't know what kind of pedestal they're going to put them on, but I want you to always remember that God told them all to bow to Adam, to us. He told Lucifer to bow to his creation. All of them. And the only one that didn't was Lucifer. Iblis in the Muslim faith. He even kicked Adam, kicked the clay vessel, because when God created it and left it there to dry, he left it on display. And he kicked it, and it reverberated. And he says, I will not bow down to him. I am better than him. You made Adam of clay, and you made me from fire. They have been here the entire time. And they told you as much. They were locked here. They've been, even after the floodwaters receded, they said they were still here. So, again, You may not be religious and all this other stuff. Well, you're missing a huge chunk of your history because you choose to ignore it. You want to figure out what's happening now and what they're about to put in front of you? Well, they've been here the whole time. Out of sight, out of mind. And they've been given power to do certain things. And there's rules to this game. They obviously don't follow them. And this place has been hit and wiped out before because of it. And I'm going to tell you now, it's going to get hit and it's going to get wiped out again. And it's going to be by fire this time, not by water, because we promised, with the rainbow, the flood, all that. It's going to be by fire. And he returns with the sword. And for all you people who are screaming all kumbaya, peace, peace, this and that, the King of Kings that returns, Jesus, Yeshua, if you actually read your book, he's coming back with a sword. It's war. And to separate the wheat from the tare. And it's also written that if you have a cloak, you should sell it and go buy a sword. Or keep sleeping and slipping. They told you everything. The people just make excuses. They do as thou will, as Aleister Crowley, the beast, told them to. They do what they want. Their ego. They can't check or control nothing. You were put here to master all these things, to master this life. We have no great teacher to show you. But I'll tell you. Thank you, Michael King. Most everyone around is wasting time, piddling it all away. This valuable moment to prove to something higher that you deserve to go somewhere better from here. Simply with everything that you do. Everyone's walking around blind and dumb and just walking around like this is nothing, or they don't know what it is, or just a free-for-all, or do what they want. And it's not. It's a proving ground. Testing ground. Problem is you've never been educated on most of it. It's been kept secret from you. There's a way out. Surely is. It's been hidden everywhere. It's all in the way that you fight this fight. So you can sit there and do nothing, but there's something greater watching every moment of all of this. Every bit of it. It controls all of it. And these things have been here forever. Here's another example. Look, what does this say? A mysterious alien-like statue is unearthed from 7,000-year-old Stone Age settlement in Kuwait, coming, out of Babylon, that region. Look at this. And it's no surprise. We've seen the long-headed creatures. We've seen them painted on the walls. We know they've been here. Okay? And just look at all the giants inside in Egypt. All the statues that are giants. All the doorways and all these old structures that are like 20 foot tall. Why? Even in Rome, Catholic, they were showing the other day, they're pushing open these monster doors. They're like 30 foot tall. Like, why? What is so tall passing through there? What was? Why are the chambers so massive and huge? Megalithic structures. They were built by these civilizations. Okay, this life was here. This statue, this little thing here, is this more evidence of it. They're here. They're here. They have always been here. I can't stress it enough. And if you missed it, if you're missing all the pieces to the puzzle where this is going, the spiritual realm is real. The ether around you is so real. This is where spirits are. You should know this. Every child knows this. This is where all the spirits sit. There's a veil there. Okay, it's very real. You should know this. There are powers that are sitting there in that realm to tempt you, that were put in place to tempt you. And that's all this life is about. We wrestle not against flesh, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. What is that? That is the jinn. What are the jinn? The jinn were put in place by God after the flood. And they are the souls of the Nephilim that were destroyed, the giants that were destroyed. that didn't want to listen. God gave them a chance to repent. And he made 32 locations for all the good Nephilim to be taken to by the angels during the flood. And they did. The rest got washed away because they did not repent. God gave them a chance. And their souls were put in condemnation in this area, locked. Okay? And they were given the ability to tempt man immediately. You need to know this and realize this. Soon as the floodwaters went down and Noah's family came out and started to spread on the planet, they were getting tested by them. So much that Noah pleaded to God to stop it, that they were malignant, that it was too much. So God did away with 9/10 of the jinn and locked them away in another spot with the angels and left only 1/10. And that 1/10 is the hierarchy that sits here under Lucifer, that are all given tasks and jobs and can tempt you every day sexually, with drugs, with food, with all these things. They are allowed to do it. They are being given the power, and it is written so. You will never figure this place out if you do not try. You have to know what you're working with and what you're dealing with, and now you can see it clearly. And I'm about to go after them. The exorcist in me is coming out, and that's the only thing left, is to take this war straight to the spirit realm from the flesh, because God gave us the power over them. Jesus said we would go on to do greater things than he, and I'm going to speak it into existence. We'll run these demons and these jinn out of here. Similar to what a priest does, but it has to be a righteous one, not a pedo. You have to be all pure righteous soul energy to fight this fight on all levels. And evil has infiltrated everything. This teaching and mastering it, man, it's been hidden everywhere. You just need to overcome all this and master it. That is the way out. You need not bow down to the material. In this material world, you think that the temptation has been bad thus far? Wait till the technology that's about to get rolled out and what mankind is going to be tempted with. To go onto a whole beast system, because it's just so amazing. Anti-gravitics and propulsion and teleportation and telekinesis and all these things rolled out is a whole new world. It's a whole new world. But if you want to participate in that new world, you're going to have to go into the beast system of the fallen. I've warned you clearly. Some of us will just flat out fight it and die. And have no qualms about it. Rather than ignore it or go onto it. Some of us are really going to walk this thing out to the death. Because something higher is watching. And when you're conscious of this and you know this, how can you do anything different? How can you go against something that you know is a higher source that you can feel and you know is present, watching you? How can you even dare do it? If you haven't achieved that level of feeling that, well, then you're not walking right. I'm going to tell you now, because it's achievable, and you're wasting your time. You're squandering all this precious time. Do you think Judgment Day is going to be on your soul? You did nothing. Just look at your life. What did you do? What did you really do? I don't care if it's just a small moment of time in your life. At the end, right now, what it is. If at some point you awakened fully and you got it all together and you started living the right way, well, then that's it. It's what we were looking for. You'd be surprised how very little do it. And how very little will leave. That's why it's called a remnant. Instrumental. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. I ride or die for the Most High. Yeshua, Jesus, Yahuwah, the Most High, the Godhead. Yeah, what is fear? Fear not. It said it, I think, at least one time for every single day in your Bible. Fear not. What is there to fear? Huh? I have to lay this out there because there's no other thing that is more important than me seeing you out of here the right way. You understand? Out of all the chaos and all the news that we report and all the stories and all the headlines, in the midst of it all, you've got to see what it's all about. What is it all worth if you can't figure out the bigger picture? And the end result, well, I bring it full circle. You know, it's what you get out of me, luckily. Decades of research and a culmination of all these things. It's paid off, you know. All the nights that I spent reading all the text out of India and the Vedas and all this, and all the nights that I sat there studying through grimoires and all these things, it all is added up. It all layers up, and I can see how they all overlay now. And if I would have never done it, I would never see it and wouldn't have it to relay to you. But I can see now that they all are telling the same story, just with a little bit of different names of the characters and all that. That's all it is. It's the same thing over and over. That tell us of what happened here. There was ancient civilizations, just as Thoth said, with Atlantis, that came here, just as the Vedas out of India described. There was ancient war. They struck complete cities with weapons, and it's written about. They flew in vimanas. I mean, come on, man. Like, you're missing a lot if you're ignoring this. It's important. Places like Dwarka, that were said to have been a myth, have now been found and actually exist. You know, that blow the mind. So this place has a lot of very interesting ancient history. But if you're listening to the mainstream in Smithsonian, you're never going to find that. Like, the real it is really, truly amazing. Our ancient history and civilizations and all that. But it's kept hidden from us. They don't even want you to realize the giant aspect, which is very true. It's a factual thing that's been proven time and time again. But the Smithsonian will still take things from out of view into the basement, and so you don't currently see it. It's out of sight, out of mind. But we know that they've been here. The giants, especially the redheaded ones, the cannibalistic ones, and all them. And that was just the last of a lineage of all the giants. And I'm telling you, they didn't all just disappear. Listen to the stories out of Afghanistan and the mountains and all these other things from the drone operators that have seen giants. They're here. And I think that may be, if they divulge this whole thing, if people see giants in the flesh, even just 10 to 15 footers, huge human beings, what they're going to be basically looking like, they're going to lose it. They're going to become in awe. I almost think that they'll, like, if they come here in a peaceful manner, I almost think people will bow down to them. And that's what you were never meant to do. They were told by God to bow to you. To you. You are at the top of the pyramid. You are above them, man. You can never forgive that. You can never forget that, man. Thank you, Sherry A. You are amazing. You have a power that you're not even using because you were never taught. This is like a world of wizards and warlocks, and like you've not been given the tools. All in all, you just got to walk righteous. You don't have to engage in anything crazy, but walk righteous. But you're going to get tested. It's all this life's about. You know? I don't want to kill no one. But if I'm the only guy around that's got my weapon on me and some madman's capping people all around me, guess what? I'm stopping him. I'm going to have no qualms about it. I don't want to drop a body. If I wanted to kill people, to join the army, right? Became a cop or whatever. I don't want that energy. No one should. It could very well stop you from leaving here. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you it will. It'll keep you regurgitated, keep you grounded right here. It's all about energy and frequency and vibration. In the end, it sounds corny to some, but it's the real. It's the real deal. You got to vibe out. You got to raise it. to get out of here or stay stuck. Your soul, your energy will stay stuck in this lower plane, man. Raise your consciousness. That way you can elevate up out of this place, man. It's a soul trap. It truly is. And I'm telling you, that moon is part of it. Do you understand? It's a device. It's a device that was put there. And you know it. It was constructed. And you know it. And it's hollow. And you know it. When you figure out that this whole thing is way more than what you ever thought, you'll see again it all comes back to it was put together to test us. It's all it's about. One big test. So let's get into the drones. Let's get into the drones. Go over and check the chat. I can't discuss all this without giving you the goods. Oh, and it's 11:11. Much love. Right on cue, David. Got that right. I want to point out that there was a video earlier being shared around on social media, and they were like, yo, we finally got a drone. And it showed them taking a drone down out of a tree, and it looked like a military drone. And a ton of people were sharing this, saying, oh, we finally got one, this and that, and getting excited. Well, you got to pump the brakes sometimes, and you got to pay attention to detail. Because when you do, you would immediately notice that on that truck, there was like Russian writing. And then if you like listen to the people talking, they were speaking a different language. And it's like, okay. That's not from Jersey for the people, everyone out there trying to share it. And it wasn't. So, hate to bust your bubble, but just some simple, just listening to what you're looking at can tell you that it's not from here. Next, the Kratos has conducted test of this new mysterious stealth drone. Now notice, all these tests of stealth drones are now being admitted. They're admitting. China was doing it, dropping them from balloons. Mach 7. Okay? Now, there's this brand new air vehicle, as they call it, the Thanatos. And they've proven it. And they're like, hold on, what do you mean? They're like, this thing can fly without a fixed tail wing and all this. It's stealth. It's dude, this is like, all right, you know the stealth bomber? You know how a stealth bomber, as crazy as it seems, can take off from an airport straight up in the air. It can lift this straight up and it can take off in the air. That is the beauty of a stealth. We have it. It's not alien tech. Some could argue that, we got it passed down. It's definitely advanced tech. But we have it. It's known. Apply that to a drone. That is what this is now. So these things are not going to have propellers. Do you understand? They're not going to have propellers. They're going to throw people, they're going to look wicked and wild. It's going to be floating right there in front of you, just like this image. It's going to look just like this. And people are going to be like, what in the is that? And they're going to think it's UFO, and rightfully so, because it's going to be floating. It's not going to have propellers. It's going to look like some kind of alien craft, but it's not. This is a government-made, man-made craft, which a majority of what you see is. In terms of a mechanical craft. You see? The orbs and all that other stuff, that's different. Okay? That's energy. It's a whole different thing here. Right here. Right here, I'm telling you. You think the drones that we're seeing right now are crazy? This could, again, be part of the psyop, just a warm-up. What happens when people start noticing they have no propellers? They're like not making even a noise. And all this. It's here. It's easily here. They're showing you right now. See how they're dropping these breadcrumbs during all this? At the same time as your government wants to say there's nothing going on, they issue a massive flight ban over New Jersey. This is rather alarming. You should pay attention to this. Why? 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 First off, all they have to do is flip a switch, and every single drone that flies out there, they can down them. They can stop me from even launching my drone just by putting out a rainbow technological bubble over a certain area. They sure can. They've done it time and time again, so they could do it to anyone everywhere. You only put this into motion to really scare the crap out of people. What they're also doing is they're clearing the sky. So from here on out, you got to know that these are not hobbyists. These are not everyday people. You can take that off the table. They're not allowed. So what you're seeing now from every day forward in the sky is something else. Every single one. It's not an if it's a hobbyist or any of that. That's been removed now. They can't do it. They're not allowed. But still nothing's going on, right? Garbage. Something absolutely massive is going on. So they've extended this to New York. Not only just to New York City, but all the way up to all kinds of parts. This is disturbing. The length at which they've gone here. And they want to lie to your face and say nothing's happening. Let's just take a look. I thought New Jersey was bad. I thought New Jersey was big in terms of the amount of NOTAMs that went into place. Boy, New York just came out and dwarfed it. Because here is Jersey. This is the initial ones they put into place on the 18th. They are saying from the 18th all the way to January 17th, which is right before the inauguration, that no one can fly anything in every single one of these locations in New Jersey. This is like all the major spots. Winslow, Bayonne, Burlington, Hancock's Bridge, Edison, South Brunswick, West Hampton, Camden, North Brunswick, Cedar Grove, Bridgewater. These are all major places. Evansham, and notice what they're all under. Security. This is one huge, massive security operation. Okay? For the whole next month. So let's go up here. New York says we're going to get in on action. Same thing. It's all listed under security. And you're talking, dude, they had over 50 places. You've got New York, all of downtown, all of NYC. Okay? All of it. You've got Brooklyn, Melville, Calverton, Northport, Yonkers, Hicksville, Shoreham, Queens, Bronx, Staten Island, Holbrook. I mean, dude, it just goes on and on and on and on. For the same thing, all the way up to January 18th. Right before, this is a huge operation. Something massive has happened. Staten Island, Commack, Garden City, Glenwood, New Hyde Park. All of these places. Valhalla, Hopewell Junction, Wheatfield. And there's multiple for the Bronx and for Yonkers. Albany, Lewiston, Marcy, another one for the Bronx. 2 more for Brooklyn. All under, just everywhere. New York, Malta, Albany, Jamaica, New York, College Point. Dude, are you freaking kidding me? Hudson Yard. Dude. Do you feel it? It's about to happen. Do you feel it? It's about to happen. This scale, this size of an operation is unprecedented. You haven't seen nothing like this since 9/11. Do you understand me? I can't believe I'm using those words, but every single time I have to, it tells me where we're at. We're in that event. This is it. You've not seen nothing like this scale, since then. Airspace closed down. Home up, they don't even want to tell you why. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Julio, I ain't even got to that. That's next on the list, buddy. Yeah, right on cue, Julio. Terrorist threat? What is going on in NYC? Why did NYC now deploy the largest military presence in its subways since 9/11. You got to be thoroughly stupid, living under a rock, looking the other way, or just wanting to ignore all this to miss this. I know most of you you're seeing this, and you care, and you want to know what's going on, and you don't want nothing bad to happen. But unfortunately, the same hands that were there for 9/11 are still there now. The scariest part of it all. Something huge is happening. I keep wanting to say it's about to happen. I feel it's already begun. The biggest part hasn't come yet, but it's already begun. They have locked down the airspace over all of Jersey and New York. Widespread like never seen before. Military in the subways haven't seen since 9/11. Drones flying around, they won't even tell you what the hell they're doing. And you don't think something huge is about to pop off. Oh my, dude. I'd be ready, man. I have all your stuff stockpiled. I have food stockpiled, water cleaning, everything, all your medicals, anything and everything right now. Every bit of it. I would prepare for a run on everything. That's how I would look at it right now. I would get everything, like now, tomorrow, like as soon as possible. Resupply your goods, all your food, water, medical, all that. Your backup plan has got to be implemented. Dude, that's all I can say. I've spent a lot of time trying to get people ready for this. You either prepared or you didn't. That's how I see it. I gave up, like I said, years of my life to get ready for this. So you either did or you didn't. There's no excuses. And I had everything taken from me in the mix of it. Everything. All my income, rocked, had everything. And I still kept on track. So there ain't an excuse from nobody. For nothing. You either did and you do want to survive what's about to happen, or you don't. That's simple. Let me keep it pushing. Federal agencies urging high-level officials to immediately switch to encrypted apps. Really? Switch over to another line where no one can hear you? Like what? What? Yep. Let's not forget that China has infiltrated all of our telecommunications, and they can't get them out. Smells like a setup to me around here, big time. Same government that allows China to come in and buy a bunch of land right next to our bases. It doesn't say a word about it. Didn't care. Like, get out of here. This is a setup like you've never seen. Same government that let millions of Chinese slip in here and disappear. Same ones. Same ones. It's a setup, dude. What do we have here? A Chinese agent pleading guilty to operating a secret police station in New York. This is how brazen they are. They're in cities, they're all over. Even the biggest one in the country, NYC, and had a police station operating there. Full blown. And they've got them elsewhere. So, they've set up shop here, big time. And their people are here. A resident of China sentenced for stealing trade secrets from Tesla. They're all over the place, stealing everything, because that's what they do. They steal all of everything, all the intellectual property rights, all of everything, and they make knockoffs of them and sell them cheaper and then rip you off. And that's garbage. And it was one of the big things Trump had going for him against China in the beginning was all this. It's the truth. It's the truth. They are rip-off artists on everything that you can imagine, and to make knockoffs of, and they'll make them in their sweatshops, and they'll sell them for half the price, and they'll cut you out. So you can see what they're up to here, stealing more. what time? It's 11:30. I always start these streams off wondering, am I going to have enough to talk about? And then I go an hour long further, like every stream, and then I got to shut down 20 tabs because I've just got too much loaded. That's the world we're in right now. There's just so much going on. You sit here and talk for 3 hours and still not cover everything. So, Swedish police board a Chinese bulk carrier that was suspected of cutting the undersea cables. And it did. We know it did. It was right above both spots when it happened. They drug their anchor across these cables, and they ripped them. They tore them. And it severed communications. And it was a military move. It was a military move. And it shows that anything is on the table right now. Our communications could go down tomorrow. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I prepped you. I've prepped you for all this. I've prepped you for this moment, man. The comms going down isn't even as bad as an EMP. So you should at least be able to get through this when no one's phones are about to work, because it's going to happen. You better hope you got a full tank of gas. And you better hope you can get to your bug out spot. Full tank of gas. You better buy some gas cans and be ready for this. Yeah, when your cell phone's not working and then your neighbor's not, and you go to the store and no one's cell phone, nothing's working. Internet's down. It's over. It's over at that point. No one will have communications. And no, you won't be able to use gas pumps and all this other stuff at the high-tech pumps because it's all connected to the internet. Only old school pumps and people taking cash in a place like that, the old school way is going to thrive. This is as we've always said. This is why you keep cash on hand, something to barter with. And they ain't going to be getting no money out of the bank out of that point. It'll be everything will be seized up. When the comms go down in this move, you better have this plan implemented. There's not going to be a chance to call no one. So you better talk about this over Christmas. While you have a chance, if there's one thing that you can talk to all your family about, leave all the politics aside. Just say, hey, just in case something crazy was to happen with comms, maybe we should have a plan. Maybe everyone should meet at mom's house or dad's house or my house. So here is the address. Everyone know it. If you're going to buy anyone a Christmas present, buy them gas cans this year. Big laughing stock under the Christmas tree. Everyone's opening, everyone's like a gas can looking at you, taking pictures, laughing, like it's a joke. Like, no, let's have a serious talk. I want you to actually use that gas can and fill it up from here. Because I don't want to, there ain't going to be no excuses from here. That's what's going to get you to your safe spot. I know it's frustrating trying to get people to listen and understand this, but sometimes you just got to put it on them and find creative ways to do so. So there's one for you. Buy everybody a gas can for Christmas, wrap it up, and then when they open it and everyone's laughing, be like, well, now I want you to take a picture and send it to me after you fill it. And I expect it done like in a matter of days. Then you know all your people, because you took the initiative to do it, will have that tank of gas. And it's pretty crazy that you had to even do it because they won't do it. But sometimes it's just what you got to do, man. A lot of people are not going to realize this till it's too late. And then they're going to thank you and 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 thank you. And I'm going to tell you this also. There's hard times coming. There's hard decisions. There's going to be a time where people, friends, and family maybe overwhelm you if you didn't have a plan. And you're going to have to turn people back. Are you prepared for that? To tell people that I warned you for years and you just ignored it. And now you want to come burden me and my family? And putting food in my children's mouths because your grown asses couldn't prepare? Tough decisions coming. You got to say that to friends and family? I'm telling you what it comes down to here in the future is this righteous people. And that's going to cut through friends and family and all. It's going to come down to the litmus test of righteous people. We got a righteous people show up to your property and they're starving and they're righteous, you take care of them. And you better be prepared to do so. God's people. Majority of these people around that I see these days are just self-centered, evil pricks that screw you over and all this and that. But there's good people. There's good people still out there, and they're gonna be depending on other good people, and you cannot let them down. Do you understand? Good people that may have had everything, may have had all this planned, but their place got burned down by crazies or this and that, and you need to help them. You need those that have a means. This is what you need to prepare for. Not to take care of all these lazies that didn't want to do anything. But there's gonna be good people that deserve it. I'm telling you. Better be ready. It's coming. Hard decisions for people. I'm telling you, you're coming. So, I told you this whole thing with China, where it's going. What's the White House saying? China has a critical choice to make. And Trump's even saying it. Like, China either comes together for like world peace or we go to war, is pretty much what this is coming down to. China buying more gold than anyone on the planet. And thank you for the memberships again, cigarette. More gold than anyone on the planet. China is. Are they using it as a weapon against the dollar? Well, they could. They could. They could just back their own currencies or contracts through bricks with gold, and it would bolster it. So many people would go and trade with them because they could cash it all in for gold. Just that simple. You know, that was the luxury we used to have with our dollar before they took it away. It might be one of the only moves that saves it in the end, but I can't see them trying to back a currency with gold without confiscating it. And all in that same swoop, it hit $20,000 when they say you can't have it. So, Blinken comes out and admits that 20 years of trying to do regime change around the world has been a failure. And this is crazy. You don't never hear them saying this. You've never heard the beast, the war machine, come out and say this. That it was all for nothing, basically. It was all flops. Every time we tried to go into a country and overthrow who we didn't like there, like, yeah, the region got destabilized, but it never got better. No area ever got better. Any of them. It just left them in chaos. Looted them, and left them high and dry. Because there was never no plan for that. They never thought it out fully. There's way more to it. And he keeps getting asked, what about Iran? They're the last on the list. Like, Syria just fell, like, overnight. Like, Iran's like the last boogeyman. And he's saying, I don't know. We don't know. Man, we tried. We weren't successful. We tried to overthrow them in the past many years, and he's saying this stuff, and they're like, what? Like, yeah, we've done all types of stuff, and like, we just don't know if it's worth it in the end. And it's like, hold the up. What? Do you know what this signifies? We are in World War III, as I said before, with all these wars. The world hasn't realized it or going to see it until big hits hit, I feel. Call it nukes, whatever. We're, by definition, different countries, gathering and going into other countries to front lines and fighting in mass casualties. It's a world war. It checks off all the boxes. What's the last war going to be? Here, the card. What's the last threat? What takes all countries and has them turn their weapons into plowshares? Huh? What stops global war? A false peace. But what brings that false peace? I'm telling you, it's another life form, or these entities, these fallen. The introduction, the disclosure. They can't exist with us warring people unless we learn to be at peace. And then they're going to demand every single country disarm. That's where we're at. We're right there. I'll fight these things to the death of me. I'll command them to bow down in my presence. But if they start to take physical reign out here to torment man in the physical and in the flesh and to change this whole game, how do you compete with these drones, these stealth drones that show up, that are sitting outside right now watching you over your house and you don't even know it, scanning you, listening to you, watching you, could kill you at any moment, knows your every move. Try to run, they're just going to follow you. You get your cell phone in your pocket, they got you. Matter of fact, they can hit it with high vibration and blow you up. Dude, we're screwed. This place was meant to get this crazy. You were meant to walk the righteous path. That's what all this is test. That's why it is the way it is. Let's check in here in Syria. Why are we in Syria? Well, they're lying about everything. It's all falling apart. They said they had 900 troops. They actually got thousands, a couple thousand at least. That's just what they're saying. But again, Syria fell. This is going to lead to, I believe, what Baba Vanga predicted, a widespread war. It already is. Israel's done came in there and just swooped up Mount Hermon. Turkey's taking over land up top. They're just dividing it up pretty much and acting like they're not. The leader here that they just brought into Syria, the whole world sees it's a fraud. He is the old ISIS leader in all this stuff and connected to Al Qaeda, all this. He meets with the same group that had a $10 million bounty on his head. That's how much of a fraud this whole thing is. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy. Syria basically fell without a shot, but I have a funny feeling it's about to fall into chaos, as all the places do, as all of them do, as Iraq did, as Libya did. It's destined, because as Blinken said, it's always failure. There is no plan for stabilization. They go into destabilize them, and they leave them in ruin. And Zelensky is admitting they have no way to fight back against Russia at this point. There's no way they can retake the territory that Russia's taken, because they're out of money, out of steam. It's the end of the road. It's just about there. But we got to get through 30 days. This administration can literally take us into full-blown, hot World War III with Russia, because they're not stopping. Look at this. At least 6 dead after a new launch of these HIMARS rockets supplied by the West hit a Russian town. Vladimir Putin came out today and said they have waged war on Russia. We are at war globally. I don't know what else the guy's got to say. He said we are in World War III, that they're targeting. He said everything that you could think of, that we're on the cusp of launching nukes. He's put every red line you could think of out there, and we've crossed them. Only thing left is to strike us. Is to strike us in the U.S. Okay? Because, looky here, 6 embassies damaged in what they call barbaric Russian attacks on Kiev. Like, get out of here. Y'all striking them everywhere. Kiev's fair game. What are y'all acting like something ain't fair game? Like, y'all can get decapitation strikes too, Like, that's what Russia's saying. And they're not liking it. So, he's finally pounding deep into Kiev like, look, this is it. And thank you again, cigarettes. And look what he says. He puts a daring challenge on the table, an experiment. Yep. He says, gather all the Ukrainian air defenses that you can. Put them in one place. Put them in Kiev. And we're going to hit it with the Oreshnik hypersonic missile. And let's see if they can shoot it down. This is what he is saying. This is bold. Like, we're about to just bust you up. Like, didn't you learn when we just hit you with the hypersonics and everyone saw them look like liquid freaking laser rain hitting these places, turning them to lava? Are you kidding me? Never seen nothing like it. No one can stop it. They can hit our cities, can't stop it. No Iron Dome can stop it. Nothing can stop it. Yet, no one's proven it. No one's shown it. Anything Russia chooses to touch from here with these things, they can obliterate. So, we're there. Oh, mushroom cloud. Oh, waiting on that mushroom cloud. UK making a huge mistake, saying that they could send UK forces to the front lines in Ukraine. That opens them up, in my book, to a wide open attack. In the UK, last I checked, isn't that big. It's not that vast of a countryside. Which, in a war situation, does not bode well for some. This world's a stage, man. You just remember all the people, no matter what country, you're just cannon fodder for the beast. That's all you are. It doesn't matter who you are, where we're from. We're all just cannon fodder. So, as we're raining these missiles down more and more every day, which could be these war fronts, why Kamala and Joe and all them are brought back, because there's going to be an escalation on this front. There could be, and they have to call the shots. He is the commander-in-chief and all that. As it said, they are launching more of these missiles into Russia. So Vladimir is saying, let's have a duel. Let's have a duel with missiles. This is about to not be good. I'm telling you. I mean, you can wake up any day now and Kiev is going to be hammered. I wouldn't be surprised neither if he struck Zelensky and killed him and tried to. At least. Putin says he's ready to meet with Trump at any time. We all know that Trump's got the best shot out there, and as it's being all telegraphed, he's the man of peace. You know the prophecy, they say peace, 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 and comes sudden destruction. But people are saying, would this bring peace or would this escalate war? And I don't see how it could. Anything can happen, though. We'll see. Now that we're through all that, an update on the spending bill, which seemed to grab all the attention. I noticed some days some stupid headlines seem to override all the rest of them. Not to say that this isn't important, but when people are dying and bombs are dropping and all this other stuff and they're bickering over a damn spending bill. Well, like, they've been doing this for years. Act like you want to care now over one bill? All of Twitter, all of social media today? Act like you care over one bill all of a sudden? It's like, shut up, dude, you hypocrites. Nobody care about the 6,000 million that's happened up to this point. You just care because someone shelled it on social media. Pisses me off. If you really cared, you would have said something, been tweeting about it long before. Let me go check your feed. There ain't nothing on it. Nobody care about nothing. We're getting led by the nose every day by these headlines. It's disgusting. The free thinking's gone. Obliterated. Oh, Elon says, look over here. The whole crowd looks. Trump says, look over there. Jump. They all look over there and jump. You know, it's like, dude, it's scary. It's scary where they got them. The masses. I'm sick of it. I'm not even reporting on the rest of this stupid crap. There's a tsunami of executive orders being signed by Joe Biden. There's going to be a tsunami more by Trump. The bird flu emergency has already begun in this country, so if it kicks into high gear on Trump's watch, it's already in motion. I mean, they've already launched a state of emergency. They've waited to this point to do it. It's already begun. So, do you think it's just going to go away? I don't. This could be the ominous sign of something very bad to come. But only time will tell. And I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of all of the politics. I hate election years. it seems to never go away anymore. When you're someone like me that deals with it, it's there. It's like, get over this election, get the politics out of the news cycle for a minute, but it never goes away. It never leaves. It's always there. Ever since Trump entered the picture, it's like it's gone to this thing. It's created this monster, and it's never left. There's politics in your life every day. I'm quite sick of it, because life is a lot more peaceful and better without the politics. It just is, and without the divide and conquer, and that's all the politics is the divide and conquer. Yeah, man. Get some final thoughts here on what's going on. Much love to everybody out there. First and foremost, I hope you guys have safe travels, holiday season. Make the most of time with friends and family coming up. It's everything. I know people are seeing flickering lights out there all across the place too, in all types of different places, in many different states, many different instances. It looks to me to be all the new electronic LED lighting, and it could be anywhere. It could be in a store, it could be in the parking lot. We've even seen it happening on vehicles. So there's something happening. They're testing something. There's a signal. It's all frequency based. Don't forget this. It's pretty simple in the end. There's signals and frequency being sent out large scale that's doing this. That's fluttering them. People are like, oh, they're testing the grid and this and that. And it's like, no. Like, it'd be happening to regular lights then. But it's not. It's only happening to the LED stuff. Okay? Because I haven't seen it happening to the normal lights yet. Which I'm not saying it can't. If it does, then we'll cross that bridge, I guess, when we get to it. And maybe it is happening. I'm not going to rule it out. There's something happening. And they're doing it somehow. So, it's kind of an ominous sign when these drones are flying around. They're not want to tell you anything that's going on. And lights are flickering all of a sudden. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't believe in coincidence. So, yeah, there's something there. There's definitely something there. A disruption of some sort for sure. I don't have an answer for it, but if you guys got video, if you got anything to add to it, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Tag me over on X. I'd love to hear from you, see what you guys got. Always love to relay information on what's going on out there so other people know. With that said, if you guys are traveling in the coming days, be very safe. Out there, holiday season. It's the holiday season. You know, Merry Christmas and all that. I look to be live Monday night. You know, so I'll have another one in here before Christmas Eve and Christmas. I don't know. I may even be live on Christmas. It is on Wednesday. And I'm probably going to be doing all my celebrating on the eve with the family. You never know. Could be live right here. Christmas night. So, yeah. And New Year's Day at that rate. Following Wednesday. So, interesting month ahead, guys. Just be safe out there. Make the most of time with friends and family. I want to thank all you guys that support the channel, that share it, that buy the super chats, those that buy the coffees. It's all appreciated. Those that keep me in their prayers. Appreciate it more than you know. So, yeah, much love. Gonna look to shut it down now, take us out of here. Some music, a few shout outs. We'll go with the underground sesh tonight. Jay from the Ville, much love, my brother. Thank you for the coffee. Do you, Annie? Yes, much love. May the Most High bless all of you that call upon it. Survival. Eon. Legendary. Much love and God bless. Pawn, Yellow Dog, Kathy, Deanne, E-Fits, Game. Thank you, D. Thomas. Appreciate it more than you know. Crown Jewels. Gary, much love, my brother. Wow, gotta give some more shout outs here that I missed. Again, want to thank everyone that supports the channel. Thank you, D, Eon, Jay, Leah, Nana, thank you, TNF. I want to thank thank everyone that's supported me over on PayPal as well. Randy Church, thank you. Much love. I appreciate all the love. Margie, thank you to the fullest for the PayPal. Can't thank you enough, man. Surrey as well. Thank you, Surrey Walters. And of course, Kempor. Man, Kempor, brother. Coming through big, man. I appreciate you more than you know, brother. Always been there. Continue to be. I appreciate it more than you know. Much love. Thank you, Brian. Much love. God bless. Pure bloods forever.